What's going on, everyone? My name is George from JP Custom Inc. And today I wanted to make a video on how to print and cut. I believe it's a feature that a lot of people are not using, especially on the cameos. That's what I use. I have a Cameo 3, so I'm not sure how the other cutters are, what the software looks like, and how it works, but I've seen a lot of posts on Instagram where I think print and cut would have looked better. Um, and I'm just baffled that a lot of people are not using print and cut. Um, and I know a lot of people cut by, with their hands and stuff, especially if you're using transfer paper or, um, or if you're using printable vinyl. I use printable vinyl. I don't use transfer paper anymore, but that's just personal opinion because when you rub your hand on the design, it feels kind of cheap, right? So I was always hesitant to use the transfer paper. When I did use it, I used to think, what is the customer going to say? This, that. But that's a video for another day. Printable vinyl. I will show you guys where to get that, but that's another video. So I have a design here. This design, I have a pink crown and a blue crown for girl and the boy. This is for a baby reveal. T-shirts supposed to be done tomorrow, actually. But yeah, so we have our design. We have our two crowns here. This video may be long, so I'm going to kind of show you guys the entire thing. Probably not the press found before, and they just basically print and then cut around if you can. And honestly, when you do that, this is what I seem to get from a lot of people. You see these white edges? That's, as a matter of fact, this is me using the Cameo for cutting. So ultimately this video should actually show you a better way of doing it. As you can see, it cut the inside, because I wanted the t-shirt just to show. I didn't want the white in the back. But even with the Cameo cutter, you can see the machine can mess up too, right? So imagine doing it by hand. There's no way you're gonna get it perfectly. If the machine's making a mistake like this, imagine what you can do by trying to use your hand. So I went from that to this. I think they're night and day between the two. I mean, you can see it's evenly cut. It's got a white background. I no longer made the cut inside. Instead of cutting the inside and let the t-shirt come through and not have a white background, I decided to make that black. It matches the shirt, so why not? So all I had to do is just add the white border. Simply, it's called an offset. I mean, basically all you have to do is add an offset and your Cameo can cut it perfectly. So let's see what we can do here. So basically all I did was, you can just right click on the design, click offset, and you will see this outline. I don't know if you can actually, yeah, you can see that. So there's an outline, right? Now, that outline is what the Cameo is going to cut, right? So this here, the Cameo is going to see that and cut that line. It's going to see this and cut that line. And then when you weed it, this comes off, right? But I don't want to do that. So what I did was, let's backtrack a little bit. So right click, offset, and your settings is right here. You just got to figure out what setting is best for you. On a design like this, I want that white outline to be very thin. So what I do is I would go to 0.045, and you can see now, you could barely see that line but that's how close I want it. Okay. So I don't, so let's do this. So I want it very thin, right? I mean, you can choose what you think is best for you. So what I'm going to do is, this is not going to be what I'm cutting. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I want to get rid of all of this, because if I send it to the Cameo, this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to cut all this area. The black is going to stay. But what I want to do is, be patient with me. I'll probably fast forward at this part. So I'm just getting rid of this stuff because I don't want the machine to see this and cut it. So we'll just get rid of it. So all I'm doing is holding shift and right click. Shift, right click. I can highlight it. I can play with it. I can, I can do all of this, I can basically mess with it, right? So, but I don't need that. I don't need this. And there you go. As a matter of fact, see, the machine will cut that. So you got to make sure you get all that stuff. And honestly, I'm going to show you guys a trick. The best way to actually see it, right? If I put it on my virtual cutting board and I click send, highlight that. Okay. So now it's telling me everywhere that it's going to cut. All the red is where the cut's going to be. So so if there was something tiny like that, once I put it there, you can kind of see it easier. See these two things? So I go back to design. Boom. Get rid of that. Okay, let's back up. Let's see. So we got another one right there. Okay. And that's the easiest way to tell what the machine is going to cut. This part, let's see. Let's just see what. So yeah, we want this part gone as well. All right, because instead of cutting that and let it and let the black area be the shirt, we're just gonna print with color on it. Instead of, because a lot of times, or before, what I used to do is I used to cut that part, because if I didn't cut, it would just be white, because what I'm printing on is white. So I didn't want the white to show. So what I do now is just get rid of it. And when you print, it's going to print black. It matches the shirt. If it was a white shirt, I would simply just print it in white. But we'll get to that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about, and it'll make sense. So this is what I end up doing. So the only reason I'm doing this offset, or the background, is that I don't have to cut these. You see all this stuff? I don't have to cut that anymore, because that black is going to match the shirt. Okay. So once I get it where I am comfortable with, so now I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to select and group them so I can move them together. Now they're together. We're going to right click and create another offset. Okay. So there's an outline. Let me back up. Zoom in so that way you guys can see a little bit better. So right click, offset, and I want this to be 0.045. That's how close I want it, but you can have it how you want. It's up to you. As a matter of fact, let's go to 55. Let's have fun. Okay, so this is my outline. So that outline, I'm gonna make that white. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this because I don't want my Cameo 3 to go and cut that little piece. So what I'll do is just get rid of that. Let me get rid of this end.